Good morning, everyone, or afternoon at this point, actually. Well, with the late night I had last night, we had a late start today, but second to last day truly down in South Texas. Out here visiting a little property I was pointed towards on the heels of what looks like a pretty decent front coming in, so I'm hoping that gets things moving. But fingers crossed, we'll see. Well, it's not much yet, but we got ourselves a tiny little house gecko. Pretty one again. Maybe some of them just darken up during the day. Anyway, there he goes. Back under his board. There's an owl in this old barn here. I can't see what kind from this angle, but I think it was a great horned. I've got him. I've got Skinky. Hooray! We got something. Yeah, old friend from last year, the little short line skinks. This guy's missing a foot and pretty recently part of his tail. Beautiful little male though. These guys are pretty widespread down here, and I think I've seen a few babies of these guys already this trip, but haven't been able to catch any of them. But nice to see one of these here. Anyway, we'll just put him back under his tin in just a sec. All right, sir, here you go. A very important frog. And the rat. Absolutely minuscule. I think this is a Rio Grande chirping frog. I missed one of these guys last year. Don't know what this guy is doing out here because there's not really any moisture under the ground or under the tins still, but cool little guys. They do get bigger, but not by much. And we'll put him back under his little pile here. These tiny frogs are actually relatives in the same genus, actually, as the Caribbean coqui frogs that are probably most famous from Puerto Rico and such. People are very familiar with their calls there. This is one of the only species that's actually native to the US and originally only native to the lower Rio Grande Valley, although it has been introduced in other areas in Texas. There is another species that is supposedly found a little bit further west within the Trans-Pecos and Big Bend regions, the Big Bend chirping frog, but these guys are slightly easier to find, although still somewhat difficult due to their small size and tendency to not stay still once they think you've spotted them. Well, there's something we don't usually get to see on camera very often, one of the whiptails. This guy is a little on the chilly side, so he was actually able to be grabbed. Now, I believe the 6-line race runner does run down here, but not wholly convinced that this is one of them because that is a really drab brown color, but we'll double check. Cool lizard though. We'll put him back under his tin. There's a second black stripe. How gorgeous. Alright, we gotta let him go on his way though. At least it's something today. So if you want to learn more about these guys, make sure to go watch the video from my first day down in South Texas this year, where we found another one. I was lucky enough then to actually have something nearby to allow him to crawl into so we could get a good look at that guy. Here, there was nothing. Flipped up the tin. He was cold, so moving slow, so we got to see him for a brief minute, but you can't handle him, so he just had to be led on his way. But it was very nice seeing two of these quite uncommonly seen fossorial species down in Texas while I was there. You can actually take a look at him. Gulf Coast toad. Alright, whoops. Almost lost him. Saw one of these guys at a distance at the Sable Palm Sanctuary. Now we get to look at him up close. They're pretty common through the, of course, Gulf Coast of Texas. That's a species I've never gotten to see before up close. Beautiful little guy. He's got this slight rusty coloration to him too. I'm not sure the camera's picking it up, but there's like rust and green on him. Very pretty. Very pronounced cranial crests there around the eyes. Pretty distinctive for the Ancilius genus. Either big crests or big parotid glands. This guy doesn't really have very big glands though. But we'll just let him be now. Here we go. Arriving in Port Mansfield, there is an obnoxiously large herd of deer that was passing through. I have no idea why, but there's like 100 deer over here. We need jaguars back, clearly. Cut the numbers down a little. Tried to go do a spot of fishing while it was actually raining. And came back now to the trail I was going to take, now that it's stopped. And the deer are back. Got a decent rack on him. Not that there's going to be anything under... Oh, there's a scorpion. Not too huge on checking out the scorpions, though. And ants. Dang. What the hell, we'll have this running. Yeah, nothing. Nada. 2 snakes. And I've got them both. Holy crap. Coach and a patch. Well, I'll start to chat about the coach whip here. This is one of the darkest and prettiest coach whips I have ever... This is also one of the biggest I have ever caught. Oh my goodness, look at that snake. Those bands, that red on the head. I am amazed that he's not trying to eat the patch nose that was sitting with him. I'm also amazed that I have been able to catch the patch nose. Look at that head. What a gorgeous snake. Oh my goodness. So we're going to get a couple of photos of him and then let him go, and then we're going to talk about the patch nose for a little bit. Wow. Gorgeous. Now, the Western coach whip is basically an old friend of mine at this point. I've seen them in quite a few different places, several different states where I've caught them. And in general, most of them have been fairly similar, kind of overall tannish color, a little bit of pink around the head, maybe a slight appearance of banding. Absolutely nothing like this guy. The strong bands that this guy had formed, the really dark color, rusty red head, completely different from any other version that I've seen so far, and kind of shows the wide range of variability that these guys have across their fairly large range as well, since they are found from almost up to Nebraska all the way down into northern Mexico. So they vary a lot in appearance all throughout that area. And as you can see, this guy, he wasn't really very uppity. We caught him on a fairly cool day, so he didn't have a lot of energy to get up and run away either. And because of that, he also wasn't really in a bitey defensive mood. So he went instead to their second line of defense, which is Thanatosis, playing dead. They're not as dramatic about it as the hognoses are, but they will just kind of flop and lay there once they think they can't just get away. All right, check out this guy. Salvadora lineate, I think. I'm gonna have to double check that, but this is the Texas patch nose, and this is the first patch nose that I have ever managed to actually catch. I've seen a couple of them dead on roads, and I've seen one got away, a mountain patch nose in New Mexico, but I've never seen a live one. Those gorgeous stripes. These guys behave a lot like racers. They're fast, diurnal lizard eaters, much like that coach whip, although they don't get anywhere near as big. But they are primarily lizard specialists, and slightly surprised he's not trying to bite me at the moment, because they're kind of known for that as well. But that is a gorgeous snake. How awesome that we got that double flip. The coach whip, he's already underneath the tin again. And we'll let this guy go very shortly once I get a couple more photos. How beautiful though. Formerly classed as a subspecies of the mountain patchnose Salvador gramier, these guys are now considered a species in their own right. And they're named patchnoses because they have a very large rostral scale that kind of wraps around the end of their snout. So it looks like they've got this big flat patch on the end of their nose. They use that to kind of dig around in loose sand looking for the lizards or the eggs that they like to eat. Completely non-venomous, completely harmless colubrids. They are a little bit bitey sometimes when you catch them, but widespread animals, beautiful with the intricate stripes and kind of speckling on their scales that many of them have as well, and you can find them throughout most of southern and central Texas. All right, sir, you can go back under there. Awesome. Now, it's not much, but we're out cruising here, and it looks like we found ourselves a little Texas toad. He's just a little guy. Finger for scale. Gotta make sure he gets off the road, though. Come here, sir. Oh, you are like deflated. It's been very dry, hasn't it? Yeah, it's safer out there, okay? Well, folks, another day that went slightly better than I was expecting it to, actually, especially since rain moved in a lot earlier than I was expecting. One black-striped snake, again, briefly seen, and then new species, the Texas patchnose, and that gorgeous coach whip alongside it, and a couple of toads as well. Kind of cool. If there's anything interesting that happens in the next 36 hours or so that I am here in Texas, you'll see that in the next video. Not quite enough for a full video, I'm afraid, so we're just inserting a couple of things here. Morning, folks. We are starting off the day rechecking a spot that I was at yesterday, but it's rained now, so conditions have changed significantly out here. And finding a couple stacks that I wasn't aware existed before, so we're checking those real quick. Fingers crossed there's something interesting. Oh, other than just ant nests and spiders. Not under that one. Oh well. Well, we got ourselves a female short-line skink, possibly in shed because she's looking a little on the dull side, but still a pretty little lizard, and it's something for today. Hasn't been anything else underneath the stacks though. I think we're moving north after this. All right, ma'am. There you go. All right, we got ourselves a snake. It's a tiny little night snake. Look at that. That is a juvenile night snake. All right, let's put his tin back and then we'll get a video. Well, Texas night snake, Hypsiglina jani torquata, or Texana, sorry. And that is one of the darkest, biggest blanched ones I think I've ever seen. This is my last flip spot here. We've got still a fair bit of stuff to look through. But, well, snake on the board for the day. What gorgeous pattern he's got. Look at that. Small rear fang snakes related to hognoses, actually. Oop, and he's just gonna fall. Come here, dude. Ooh. That's nice to see. Hopefully there will be a few others out here. All right, sir, here you go. Under there. Scoot, scoot. Here he goes. And while I was looking at the night snake, we've got this black vulture who's been barking at me. Don't know what you think you're doing up there, dude, but quit barking at me. Big lizard. Look at that guy. That's a gorgeous Texas spiny. I've been beating myself up in this stack of tin for like half an hour now because it's huge. So far, very nice look at a slightly cold Texas spiny lizard. And of course you can see why they're called spiny lizards. What a gorgeous animal. Might be a young female. Or not young. It's a decently sized female, honestly. Gorgeous. We'll find another spot to put them under, because actually it might be a male. But we'll put them under somewhere else because I still got a few pieces to flip here and I don't want to squish them. Otherwise, well, stay tuned. We'll see where I'll end up next. The next planned trip is back into the Oklahoma-Arkansas region. So hopefully that'll pan out. But if not, well, stay tuned, because we'll be going somewhere in the next month. As always, if you enjoy educational videos, wildlife adventures, things like that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the black bell so you don't miss anything. Give a like to this video, watch all the way through. That really helps support the channel. If you have comments or questions, leave them down below. And if you'd like to see more of what I do, information, cool photos and videos and such, you can find my website, carltoncarnivores.com, where the blog and database are at, or find me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and PixelFed at Carlton Carnivores. And if you'd like to help support in a more financial manner, consider visiting the shop at carltoncarnivores.com. You can buy some of the plants that I sell there, or merchandise and such. You can donate at coffee, or you can become a Patreon member. And all the links for those will be down below. Remember, Patreon members do get some special benefits back as well. Or you can simply contact me directly if there's another way you'd like to support. But until next time, I'm Hawken Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.